let me say good evening to you.
Good evening. Hi, Lady D.
Hey there,
Delia Parkinson.
Councilwoman. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well.
28 minutes after 7 o'clock. Welcome, everyone, to Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson, Councilwoman for the city of Mount Vernon, New York. It's my pleasure having you always, Councilwoman. What's going on out there for you? I know you're busy as a bird, so as always, say hello to everyone.
Good evening, Lady D. Good evening to your listeners, to everyone out there in Radio Land. I'm really always happy to be here with you on a first Thursday. And so I welcome the opportunity to speak with your listeners. Yes, I am busier than I want on paper hanger. It's campaign season. And of course, I work for myself, so I've been just really busy. I'm going through a blessed season. Let's not say it's busy. Let's say a blessed season. So I'm thankful for all of that, but I don't have time.
I can well imagine that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Know the Facts. And those of you who are residents here in Mount Vernon, New York, or you have resided at some point in Mount Vernon and you have seen the changes, you've heard the stories that have come out of Mount Vernon, both of excellence and also of concern. There are situations that seem to always exist, or they're so persistent. And then you have young minds, brilliant minds, people who have excelled out of the city of Mount Vernon. And Councilwoman is a resident here in Mount Vernon, and has been doing so much advocating for so many different things in the city. Let's start off first, Councilwoman, with the June 22nd big event that's coming up, where they'll be casting their vote for number 9A.
Yes, Lady D. So it's a primary day. It's a really important day. Mount Vernon is what you call a one-horse town. We are primarily Democratic voters. We have about 36,000 registered Democrats and maybe about 9 to 10,000 registered Republicans. So typically in Mount Vernon, whoever wins in the primary is almost assured of being elected in the general. Mm-hmm. So I'm running for re-election as a city council member. And what I've done, Lady D, is I have submitted for the consideration of the voters my record of service. What I've done over the time is what I have submitted to them to say, judge me on that. Yes. Judge me on that. Judge me on what I've done. Mm-hmm. And so I am, I have, worked hard to represent the needs of this community, to represent the people of this community with integrity and with honor. And so I am pleased to submit my record of service for consideration by the voters.
Yes. And how has that been going?
So you know what, Lady D, I think it's been going well. I submitted more than 1,000 signatures. We needed 300. I submitted more than 1,000 signatures to get on the ballot, and I got on the ballot with no problem. Mm-hmm. And the response out there has been good. What has been certain, Lady D, is that I have stood my ground. I've been a principled representative, making sure that I'm not, flexing my vote based on any kind of political aspirations or personal agendas. Mm-hmm. I'm always voting for what is right for the people. So when it came to, for example, the sale of the YMCA, I said no to that because I want the YMCA building to be restored as a complete community center for our young people. You've heard the stories of the young people killing each other. Just a few weeks ago, we had a 17-year-old shot. At 10 o'clock in the morning, he was shot and killed. 17 years old in the middle of the morning. Mm-hmm. Those things are unacceptable. Mm-hmm. We have all kinds of development going on, and I say we must fix our sewers before we commit to that. Right now, we have financial problems. The mayor yesterday and the assemblyman and the state senator submitted a draft bill asking for us to turn the control of our finances over to a financial control board under the state.
Oh.
And I say no to that because that is a drastic measure that takes away the power of all the elected people in the city. So we cannot do something like that. We understand that there have been some challenges with our present controller, but we have 6 months to go. And I believe within that 6 months, we can sustain, we can put in other measures to help us make it through to the 6 months so that when a new controller is elected in November, that we will have the opportunity to objectively analyze our financial state, call for a forensic audit with the help of the state, and then develop a plan as to how we will dig ourselves out of the debt that we have created, rebuild our credit so we can borrow, and begin to put our city on a path to recovery and development.
Right. And I know you have a heart for your city. Since you've been in office as the councilwoman in the city council, from your perspective, from your view, from your vantage point, how have you assessed the city of Mount Vernon? For some,
Okay, so,
yes.
Yeah. So I'll give you an honest assessment, Lady B. I don't, I have decided that I will speak the truth no matter what. And I'm going to say what has happened in Mount Vernon for many years is that people have been elected based on political connections, not based on whether they're qualified or capable of doing the job, based on popularity. So Mount Vernon is a incestuous town in many ways. That's how the mayor described it one time. So what it is that everybody is related by blood or by, other connections. Everybody is connected. And so somebody who went to school with or related to, because everybody is related and connected, can easily get elected here in Mount Vernon. Well, even if they're not qualified, even if they're not capable. And that's what has suffered us. Besides that, we have a lot of corruption in Mount Vernon. And so that corruption has not helped in terms of how money is spent, how decisions are made, and how the best interest of the community is secured. So as a result, over years, things have festered and soured. And now we're at a point where it is almost at crisis stage. And we really need to kind of face exactly what has been happening in the city and make a determination as to what path we will forge forward. We have not selected good leaders. The mayor that we have now is clearly incompetent. She's unable and incapable of doing the job. And so that's one of the reasons why she's calling for the state, because she don't know what to do. And, I told her yesterday that I called shame on her yesterday because I said, how could you? How could you call for a financial control board for the city? Just because you're not capable of doing the job doesn't mean everybody else isn't or anybody else isn't. So therefore, that's what we need more than anything else is to elect capable leaders. We need people who can do the job, who have the ability to do the job, who have the motivation to do the right thing. And that's the kind of leadership we need in Mount Vernon. We do not presently have it, but we have people here who are capable of it. And so it is just for the people now to develop the fortitude, the motivation, the will to say, we will no longer live in this kind of cesspool.
Now you're vying for this position once again for the benefit of people who do not know what the city council is. Can you bring them in the know?
Please, absolutely. Yes, Lady D. So the city council is basically the legislative arm. So it is like the Congress. You know how the Congress makes the laws in the federal government? The city council makes the laws in the city, in the municipality. And so as a city council, we are 5 members. We are 5 members elected at large. We do not have a ward or a district like they do in New York City. So everybody is elected to serve the entire community. All right. So we have, and so we are elected to create legislation and ordinances, to provide financial oversight, fiduciary responsibilities, and then we provide operational and administrative oversight over all the departments of City Hall based on committees. So there are 4 committees: finance and planning, legislation and public works, human resources, and we have public safety. Public safety Education and Public Works, Human Resources, and Finance and Planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those four committees, and every year, as a council member, we elect a president. The president does not chair a committee, but all the other members chair a committee.
Mm-hmm.
And we provide administrative oversight. We deal with the complaints of the citizens because our primary focus is to secure the welfare and the well-being of the people of the city.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, it must be a very difficult thing because usually when people meet in a boardroom, online, or whatever the platform is, and they have to deliberate over all the issues that are tabled, I'm sure the meeting of the minds are not always easy, readily.
No,
right?
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not always easy. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to say that more often than not, a lot of the things are mundane and routine,
mm-hmm.
right? But things like land use decisions, how land will be used, who can buy land, infrastructure, how money is spent, how contracts are awarded. So it always comes down to money, really, mm-hmm. right? Because that's what drives corruption, right? It's money that drives corruption. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times decisions are being made that are probably suspect. Mm-hmm. Some decisions are suspect. Mm-hmm. And I, for one, refuse to participate in any of those things. So I will ask questions and I will vote no if I in any way am suspicious of any of the deals that are being made.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, what is your driving passion? Why you really want to stand out in your community and advocate?
So, Lady D, I believe it was Mother Teresa that said that service is the rent we pay for our place on earth. And that's what this is, more than anything else. Even though it's a political position, it's also a public service position, right? Mm-hmm. We are here to serve the community. Before I served on the city council, I served on the school board for 4 years. And I did that because I care about this community. I care about our children. So I always find ways to serve. Ever since I got here, Lady D, I've been serving in this community. And that's what this is about. This is about making the place a better place for all of us. Mm-hmm. Making sure those who don't have the ability or the capacity or the time to advocate for their greater needs, that can be done by someone like me who God has smiled on mm-hmm. and given me the opportunity to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. So that is what I see as my calling.
Well, I mean, people have heard your voice. People have resisted. Recently, we spoke to a session of a meeting, rather, that you were having with young people, and we heard their plea, how mm-hmm. they wanted a change in the city, because sometimes when you speak of or you mention Mount Vernon to somebody, it's almost like they just think of the city that's just over there.
Yeah,
it doesn't impact, it doesn't impact you when you hear Mount Vernon, because people will always have something to say, whether someone embezzled, whether, there is a project that just has not seemed to take off the ground. It's just stagnant. People are concerned, but then there are those who have just, raised their hands and said, woe is me. What can we do over here?
Right. Lady D, and that's the problem, right? We have this representation, particularly in media, but also in the community at large, of being a place of dysfunction and chaos and violence. And that's not a true representation of who we are. Mm-hmm. We're a beautiful community with gorgeous homes, lots of resilient, resourceful people who are educated, who care about their neighbors, who take care of each other, mm-hmm. right? But you're not seeing that because the narrative that's out there, the loudest narrative that's out there, is a different one. Mm-hmm. And I usually tell people this, that it's the 6 or 7 loud mouths that are dominating the story, but that's not the real story.
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's part of the problem, all right? And that's part of my charge, is to do a better job of getting out an alternative narrative that is closer to the truth.
So, on June 22, your expectations?
My expectation on June 22, Lady B, is that people will get out and evaluate that Delia Farquharson has represented them well, that Delia Farquharson has shed light where light has not been shed before, that Delia Farquharson has been responsive to the needs of the community, that Delia Farquharson is a woman of integrity who cares about the community and has served the community with honor, that Delia Farquharson deserves to be re-elected to the office of City Council so that she can continue to represent the best needs of this community. So I'm asking folks on June 22nd to go out and vote 9A, vote for Delia Farquharson for City Council so that I can have that honor and that opportunity.
Wonderful. It's always a pleasure speaking with you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, lady.
Re-elect Democrat Delia M. Farquharson for Mount Vernon City Council. Vote 9A, Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. And we're wishing you so much success. I was at your inauguration. I'm looking forward to some other hoopla, you know.
Thank you, Lady D. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your listeners, but I also appreciate the opportunity of being on with you every month to share and to, know the facts.
Yes.
To get to the facts, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lady D.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
All
Let
right.
me run to the phone line. Good evening. How are you? All right. They went. Thank you, Councilwoman. All right, that was Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson. You may call back. Someone was calling in a while ago. 914-600-4228, 914-600-4228. It is my Jazz Thursday, and of course, I do apologize to my YouTubers. A few minutes ago, I got bumped off, but I'm back. So if you are not back on, then certainly, you're welcome to do so. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Lady D. How are you?
My yam lady.
I heard Councilwoman Ferguson on. I don't catch the first part, but I catch. There are questions I want to ask her. Is she taking calls online?
Oh,
with you?
Councilwoman.
Or she's gone?
Yam lady. Once the segment is in process, and we do anticipate callers to call in, you call me at that time because she hung up.
Oh, she hung up already?
Yeah,
I thought
yes,
she was
she
there with you.
No, we just wrapped up the segment.
Because my views on I was going to ask her a question. I catch her some other time. I've seen all these posters on how, and the only place I saw her, a poster of her, is on Route 22, right on Columbus there, going up Columbus there on your right hand side. I think it's a doctor's office,
Okay.
or something of that such. And also, people to understand that the hospital is over there and it's still in limbo. How can we have a big city like Mount Vernon and don't have its own hospital?
Yes.
We would have to go to Presbyterian there in Bronxville, or we have to go to New Rochelle.
And I know that was on the table for some time.
The why, there is no why for the young children. Lady D, the children, they are lost in Mount Vernon. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, ma'am, I know. There are no recreational activities. It's very limited.
It's nothing for the young people. I was so happy and I was so joyful when I saw this girl, this black girl that got the scholarship for Homage University for the first time. Mount Vernon show up its colors in here. We had children in that level is concerned. I don't know if you saw the article.
I don't believe I have, so thank you for bringing me in the know.
Yeah, man. Please get a copy. It's in the black, I think they call it the black newspaper.
Okay.
You know.
All
she,
right.
yes, she got, she was awarded full scholarship to Amherst College, Bowdoin College, John Hopkins University, Duke University, University of Notre Dame, and another college, you know, which I never even heard. I never heard these names. Most of them, the names there, not a regular name.
Yes.
And I was so proud. That's how, you know, the young people, they need motivation. They need, you know, they need stuff. Not to on the street. They have no guidance. They nothing to do, and all of the gadgets, and it just
it's
let
depressing.
me.
It's depressing.
You know. So let me. I thought she was there. I'll catch her. I'll catch up with her.
I'm sure you will.
And be blessed out there.
Blessings
because
to
it's
you
going
too.
we're going to have bad weather according to the weatherman. So don't get
Yes,
caught
my
up in
dear.
it.
I will be leaving home.
Go straight home when you leave work.
You know, yeah, lady. When I was a child, you know, I have to give you this. When I was a child, I used to like to go out to other people's yard. You know, when they call walk boat.
Then we know that.
I was never home. I would go to my friend's house, and we all over the place. And evening time, they have to come on the veranda and call out daddies. And my sister Sophie, we're nowhere to be found. So now they used to find us and tell me, dark me up to me yard. Dark yourself.
When I hear you on the radio talking about what used to go on, it just bring back memories. These kids have nothing to talk about.
Hallelujah.
And you couldn't do it now, though, because, you know, you couldn't do it now.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
You know, but those are the days that we can talk about, and those were good days. Have a good evening.
Thank you, my young lady. Okay. No, seriously, they would have to literally come find me. And then, I don't know if many of you know the term, because sometimes you forget things, you know. But I don't forget. They used to find me and said, dark yourself up. I sent me up. Just saying it. Just saying it is so funny. But they used to dark me home and said, dark yourself up. When I'm out all day, it's so nice to reminisce because I have so many stories to share growing up as a child. But anyway, I thank Councilwoman for, you know, articulating her thoughts and really, you know, letting people... Wait a minute. You may call me back, 914-600. I do apologize. I missed the call. 914-600-4228. I'm too busy laughing at myself. 914-600-4228. I don't know if somebody want to dark me home, but let's see. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Lady D.
Yes, my dear.
And thanks for your wonderful program as usual.
Thank you, my dear Gloria.
All right, so get home before the rain, as Miss young lady said.
Okay, so you're darking me home too. Okay.
All right. Thanks. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening to you, madam. How you doing?
Hey, dear Wallace, I'm fine. How you been?
Make sure you dark yourself for your yard, you know. Make sure as you hang up the phone, so you plug out everything and turn off everything and through the door.
Listen now, Wallace.
Don't
I'm not
stop to the
joking.
knife of nothing.
Wallace, I'm not lying, you know. They used to have to like come find me. Because me not stay home. No, nothing no wrong with my house, you know. Me had everything to my comfort. But you know, Pickney, we like to go to each other's yard. Aye.
Trust me.
And
Especially
I tell you.
when I'm at school time.
Oh, And there is one thing I have to leave you with.
Yeah.
I wasn't considered a poor child, nor was I from a poor family, right? But
All
I
right.
liked to fit in. So every Friday I took it upon myself to not wear shoes to school. Without joke. I used to go barefoot to school, and that thing was just not sitting well with my grandmother. I leave out with my 10 commandments, tripping up to the primary school. No shoes, because some of the children didn't wear shoes to school, right?
Right.
So I kind of want help, kind of
15.
fit in and make them not feel too bad. Friday, me
Bad.
gone to school with. Anyway, I can tell you, but it's good to
Well,
hear
well,
you.
but before you run your Lady D, I have one little note to touch a topic on this Black Wall Street thing. It's crazy. And you know what get me upset about it all, Lady D,
Yes.
is that this 107-year-old lady have to come out and talk. And you know the worst part about it, from the journalists to the news media, and all of them celebrities were running out now talking about it. Where were they? And
The
this is
whole
their
time.
country, and they're born here, and
Yes.
the whole of them, all of them. And I'm like, me and you were come from a yonder. I hope some of them are listening. Shame on them.
Yes, I know.
Understand me?
I mean, the nation's eyes turned this week.
Yeah. I said to myself, I said, that's why everybody, my family is registered Democrat. And me tell them every day, them give Obama way too much credit. Because he was there. What did he do for them?
A lot of people.
You understand?
Yes. A lot of people
But-
didn't think that, President Obama had done much. Many people thought that, because we all loved him because of his color and his eloquence and, all of that. But some people to this day felt he did nothing. And, it's perhaps debatable on some things.
I tell people, Lady D, I tell people that Obama was just one of them managers. I work in hotel business, so he's just one of them goody GM trying to be the nicest GM ever and gets nothing done. That's what all he was trying to do. Be the nicest person and get nothing done and gone on with a good pension. That's all he does. People overrate him. My mother overrates him to the earth, and I tell her every day, give me Mr. Trump because I know who he is.
I hear you, sir. And somebody would just want to crucify you at this time.
That's all right. That's all right. I always said, Lady D, I rather the snake that come from underneath the rock stone and me can see him than the one that sit underneath the stone waiting for me to sit down on the stone.
I hear you.
And that's the dangerous snake. You see the one where they run about the yard where you can't see him to chop off in head? That one there. Me rather that one there than the one where under the rock stone where you never get to see. Just a wait for the day for you sit up on the rock stone to do what you want to do.
Good to hear you,
Make
Wallace.
sure you dark yourself for your yard.
Thank you. Take it easy. Enjoy your
Be safe now,
weekend.
sis.
Yes, I'll do my
Yes,
best.
you too.
All right.
I'll be here on Monday.
Blessings. Okay.
All
Thank
right, sis,
you.
blessings.
Bye. All right, everyone. Again, I'm docking myself to my yard, but I thank you all for tuning in this evening for Center Stage, the platform where voices are heard and people connect. And those of you who enjoyed my comedy zone with Donna, my little Donna. That was so funny. Guess who's coming to dinner with Oliver Samuels? What can I tell you? And thanks to Councilwoman for joining me for Know the Facts with Delia Farquharson. Don't forget, June 22nd, she will be up for, re-election. And go out and do your due diligence. My name is Denise Lady D. Gomez. Thank you so much for being here with me. I look forward to being back on Monday with the Monday Drive, keeping you in the know in the city you walk, drive, and reside. The show is brought to you by Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. I'm so appreciative of them. I appreciate them so much. And also for you, you know how it goes. it's time for me to show off. Have yourselves a great weekend. My weekend begins with you today because I'm off tomorrow. And so I can just relax and sleep late in my bed while you have to get up early and go work hard to take care of your family. So I have just a little day off. Don't play hate me. Thanks to Cooler Runnings Jamaican Restaurant, 1802 Nereid Avenue in the Bronx. Thanks to Touch FM Radio 90.1, CaribbeanVibesRadio.com, and SignRadio.net. Guess who is coming up at 8 o'clock on his platform, CaribbeanVibesRadio.com. Chris will be with The Smooth Groove. You know, Chris, don't ask me to do a drop all now for him, because I could do a drop that will just send chills. So I'm waiting for the invite, Chris. But I'll be jumping over to catch the Smooth Groove from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thanks, everybody. A lot of love and blessings to you. And take it easy, right? Dark yourself for your yard, Lady D. Looking forward to seeing you again. A lot of love to you. Mwah. I'm out of here.
She haven't received the barrel as yet. Which shipping company do you use to send it off?
Last year, no. I want to know.
You say, honey, you know you drink too much. I bet definitely hear